Hello and welcome to the stream. Today we're going to be doing Peroro Great. We're going to be mainly doing insane clears for all three variants. All of my run clears use 3 teams. There are a few things that you should keep in mind when you do Peroro, especially in Insane and above, is that Peroro will spawn a shiny Peroro together with the regular Peroro minions. Yeah, hello, welcome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a Peroro run in Insane for the penetrating version, and I will try to tell you what I'm doing during the clear, so it's easier for you than to do your own clears. So before we go into my clear is obviously not perfect. I won't have like all the units, but with some help of the rental system we can get through it. So what people is mostly doing on the penetrating version, they are starting with in the support Ako Himari because they are really strong and they are used everywhere. Natsu as a tank, you are going to probably use Natsu as a tank everywhere, like in all 3 versions, because she's not weak to mystic damage and she can cleanse herself, and that opens the door for us to not have to use Mari or Chinatsu on the specials. They use Summer Ui for the penetrating effectiveness buff, and they use Ui to discount Nonomi's EX skill, so it's cheaper and more manageable. The thing is, in my case, I don't have Nonomi that trained and I don't have Ako, so I cannot do this kind of composition because I cannot rent both Ako and Fuka. So for my run, I opt to rent Fuka, so I can do a Mika composition and I can discount her ultimate, so her EX skill, so I can get the shiny Peroros down. This player uses on the second team Noah, I think, is to reduce the defense of the shiny Peroro and ensure that he can take down the shiny Peroro. I don't really like that too much. I don't know, like maybe his first team is like really strong and they get Peroro to like very little health, because I see this team going down to the first laser that Peroro will throw at it, because there is no cleansing in this team. So yeah, now let's do my own run. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, obviously, whether it's regarding Peroro or the next banners on global, because obviously we don't know the next banners in JP, or if you have doubts about the current character in JP. what we want to do is boost Mika as much as we can. We are not only going to get a lot of damage from the Shiny Peroro explosion, but we are going to get a lot of damage from Mika's EX skill too. We want to let the Shiny Peroro walk so we can use it to break Peroros. So now what we want to do is keeping us alive, and we are going to break the defense of the closest Peroro to us, but we are going to use Mika to hit the one on the back, because by proximity we are attacking the one that's close, but if we focus on the one that's close, we may be late to take down the one that's far. So we use Mika to take that one down and defense spike. So on the first one, so it goes down to that stack.
出発しますね。天才美少女ハッカーの真髄お見せしましょう。
So this second wave of Peroros is going to be a little bit more complicated because Mika is going to be out of range to attack one of them. So what we want to do is pretty complicated, but we are going to try to snipe the Peroro as he's going across. Out now, and hopefully we're going to land it on the other one too and explode. Yeah, so that happened. I have to activate the EX skills animations for a second. There we go. So now that the first one is down, we can actually take down the second one and keep doing the play from the first one and sniping the Mika from one. So all the little Peroros are done now, and we're going to get the mini Peroro minions. So when you have the mini Peroro minions, you have two choices. One, you put the Mika, or you go some heavy damage from, you know. Pretty low.
ここは私が守るから。丁寧にお願いいたします。興味深い対応ですね。給食部の特製おせちです。ここは私が守るから。
Ideally, if you like make situation where you're playing two or three games clear, you want to defeat Peroro with the first team. You want to get less than 18 HP up. Otherwise it's going to be complicated to finish with the next team.
ここから先は進ませないよ。ここに少し補強していきましょう。真心いっぱいですよ。
This run was decent. It could have done better, but I had just some bad timings and I missed a buff with Himari. It landed on Natsu instead of Mika. So we lose like about 2 HP bars of DPS, which is a lot. Okay, so this second team, we're going to rely on Hoshino as our tank. She's going to be tanking most of the damage, and she is, thanks to her own shields, she can take a lot of the laser on her own. But we are going to be cleansing her with Mari as soon as possible to avoid having Hoshino go too low. U is going to be providing us the penetrating effectiveness buff, so Iori and Maki can take down the shiny Peroro. These two lack damage as I have them currently. even though I have them like really well invested, but they on their own they cannot make it. So I'm going to be trying to use both to take down the Shiny Peroros. This is probably one of the most complicated teams because I feel like it lacks damage, but it works, so we can get the 3-team clear. So let's give it a go. We're going to start buffing first before using Yori's. Yes. Okay, that one pretty well. Yori did land for criticals. Like, Yori is such a unreliable character in that sense because her critical stats are like really weird. She has like a lot of crit damage, but if she doesn't land the criticals, it's because of her low crit rate. Her DPS can vary too much. So DPS is really unreliable in my opinion. Yori that's really bad for us. She may go down. Okay, we were lucky she didn't go down, but she's really low. Like, she could even go down to the span of the Peroros of the boss. Yeah, oh, she barely survived him. That's really good for us. But this one is going very well. If we do like another 10 bucks, we should get some. Our goal is to get it lower in that class, which is trouble. Okay, 30 hours, that's pretty doable for us. So the third team is just a bunch of characters that I have like well invested, quote unquote. So the key here is to use Chinatsu to cleanse Miyako, and hopefully Wakamo and Midori and Momoi will be able to take the Shiny Peroros down in time for us to get all the stagger. This team is not great, but it works. Shiroku is here just to offer us an initial boost on the discount on the EX cost, so we can get the team going. And she also gives us accelerating buff with her super skills, so that's gonna help a lot, especially because this team is a little bit cost heavy, mainly because of Wakamo and Shinatsu.
すべて叩き潰して差し上げます。助けの必要なら私にお任せください。ありがとうございます。感度良好。突入を開始します。あいつ怒らなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。あなたたちのせいだよ。すぐ叩き潰して差し上げます。
This is where we set Max's stagger now, and hopefully get us the stagger to the second group.
そういう衝撃に注意をください。あなたたちのせいだよ。消え去りなさい。ここからはあなたの足にかかってます。私の怒りの弾丸をくらえ。縁が遠いように緻密に。
Side note, Friendship Wakamo is really frail because she does her own defense, so be careful when using it because she may go down for you like early. So it's a lot about deployment and precision. We failed to get the stagger, however we survived the transition and here we shouldn't be able to get the stagger.
衝撃に注意してください。あいつ怒らなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。
After the stagger, we
邪魔をしてくれました。諦めないでください。ありがとうございます。連続射撃いきます。あいつ怒らなきゃいけなくなったじゃん。あなたたちのせいだよ。消え去りなさい。ここからはあなたのビジネスだ。人を撃つような緻密に。悔しい。
That's the penetrating version of Peroro. So obviously what is essential for this fight is to snipe the Chain Peroros because every time they explode they do 200,000 damage, which is a lot. That will take down 2 of the other Peroros, which will help you take less damage and will help your survival. And it will deal a lot of damage to the boss itself, so prioritize the shiny Peroros and you will be fine. Obviously you need the DPS to do it and like a good support system around your DPS, but it's not that complicated once you get it going. Next up is the explosive version of Peroro. For this version, what the top players are doing, they are using Natsu obviously because she's the best time for this, and they are using Nagisa and Fuka. New Year Fuka, she's to discount probably Mutsuki's EX skill, and Nagisa is for the defense reduction and probably to deal a lot of damage during the Peroro Dolls phase after you get the stagger, because her AoE will hit all the Peroro Dolls and will reduce all of their defense. So if you throw Mutsuki into that mix, like, it's a lot of damage. Hoshino is there obviously for acceleration and explosive effectiveness and attack buff. She does a lot. And Swimsuit Hina, she deals a lot of damage. She has a good normal skill, it triggers fairly quickly, and her EX is really cheap and it hits up to 5 targets, which is what he spawns, like either first or second wave. It's always 5 Peroro minions. The first one being 2 on each side and 1 in the middle, and the second wave being more like a triangle formation with 2 on each side, 1 in the middle but on the top instead of the center, and 2 on the other side. So with Hina, what's great out here is that you can actually not worry too much about the position of the Peroros, because she will not fail. She will lock into the 5 targets that are in her range, The issue is that I don't have her invested, so I cannot use this comp. And I don't have New Year Fuka. But what I do myself is something fairly similar. Obviously, like every comp needs all the pieces to work perfectly and get you the same result. But in my case, what I opt for doing is not use Hina. I use Ui, so I can replace New Year Fuka, and I use Himare for acceleration and damage buff. So what are we going to be doing? We are going to be boosting Mutsuki and making her EX cheaper. And since Ui gives you 2 cast of the EX skill, once we use Mutsuki's skill once, we're going to use Ui's EX on Hoshino, so we have a cheaper refresh on her EX, and then we're going to renew Mutsuki because we're going to use the 2nd cast of her EX skill. So this will give us a smooth rotation overall, and yeah, like sadly I'm lacking again a little bit of damage here, and this is one of the most rough clears probably because it can take up to 4 teams depending on how unlucky I am during the first and the second team. Here we're going to start with a Hoshino skill, so we get faster reflection and we get the damage boosting. And now we're going to go with the Mutsuki. So here I have to restart because I didn't land my Mutsuki EX skill properly, so the rotation went down. Usually, like, if I get lucky with the rotations, I can boost with Himari before going with Mutsuki, so I ensure the takedown, but you cannot set for skills in the rotation, so that's luck dependent. So I either rely on Mutsuki actually getting or Himari boosting. It's a little bit out of the rotation. Ensure that we get Mutsuki instead before I use 3x. However, that can be because if I don't have an EX when the lane comes, even with her EX cleanse, her life goes about half. She will survive, but it's still too close for comfort. My position is far from Hoshino, so she's not getting any backs from Hoshino. So what I should do is switch deployment and go switch Ui and Hoshino's
こを少し補強しておきましょう。
This one is going too bad. I had a little bit of a mess up with the deployment, so we're going to fix that and we're going to redo this. I don't know if I had the deployment like that for Hoshino's safety, but at this point we can try this mock battle anyway, so that's what's great about mock battles. You can just try stuff until you get it right. That's terrible. That's really, really terrible for us. We lost about 100% damage there. It's massive. Because we are not only losing the attack buff that Hoshino provides, we are also losing the effectiveness buff that Hoshino provides. So in this scenario, my best bet is that we are going to get probably the most effective bars, but that's not ideal because this comp can get it lower. The goal with this comp would be 70 bucks, but that's not possible. However, lucky for us, we may be able to get close to this target. It's 79 bucks, that's not ideal, but that can do. So this is our second team. This team will rely on Haruka, obviously as our tank, and Mari to cleanse her. We are going to rent a Himari, so we can boost Aru. Toki is virtually here just to give us the complementary damage that we will be losing, and Ako just is going to give, Haru is going to keep us alive. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much what we do with every DPS. We are going to boost Aru as much as we can. In this case, we only have Himari to boost her, but it should be almost good enough for us to get the KOs on the Shiny Peroros. we may lag sometimes. It depends on if Arus crits or not. Like, if we get a critical hit, it's going to be an easy takedown. If we don't, we are going to need the assistance of Toki to finish it. So our rotation will start with Himari, Mari, and Aru. It's always for safety reasons we have the cleanser on the initial rotation. Because we don't have any discounts, this is going to be 4 points if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's going to be 4, so it's going to be a little bit of slow rotation, but thanks to Himari's Axel effect, we are going to be fine to get all done before we have to cleanse Haruka. Haruka is also great because she deals decent AoE damage, so like during the Peroro's phase, we can use her to pump some extra damage. It's not too much, but it helps. As always, first Aru. Here we don't want to wait for the Peroro to work anyways because we need the time for the explode. So the Peroro didn't go down. Here we have two choices. We wait for the cleanse. We use Haruka, but we wait for the cleanse for safety reasons, and then we go with Bunny Toki. And that gets the one, and now we go forward, so we protect these fighters. And we go with Aru in the back, just like before. The back is the harder to reach. And we need to okay, so we will take down all the Peroros, so we don't get the stagger. Here it will usually restart, but we are going to see if we are close to the goal of damage we want to get. We will keep the spam. Now we're going to so in this position, Haruka is really weak. She is really prone to dying here, but we should be fine. Because for Haru to help her.
Fire!
Great thing about Haru is that she also gets damage from the now we need to push Haru to get the most damage we can during the Peroro phase. Then we go with 3 doors, which is great. And then we use Toki.
Fire!
Just fishing as much damage as we can. The health season is usually bad for us, but we're healthy, so we're going to be fine. Then we don't wait for it to walk because we know we're going to get it. With Toki, but fail too.
Fire!
Now we need Haru to not miss. If she doesn't hit in the back, we are not going to get damage. Okay, she got the Toki, so we took down all the Peroros and the stagger bar still Peroro. However, this run is not enough because we're not yet below 30 bars. Unless we land like a super lucky so we restart. Do not be afraid to restart your raids.
Fire!
That was perfect. It's on my side not to wait for the explosion and to waste the water with that, but we are doing fine because Haru did kill her, so we should get that. Yep, that's perfect. So we got the stagger, that's great, now we can use Haru again. Lots of damage. us because we are too far to reach without the gears. So we have two options here. One, risk it and try to land a critical double kill. Second is just try and play basic. We just have to hold it on. So we're going to save for here after the transition, so we get everyone here. Aru doesn't have the buff. It's obviously going to lack the damage, but it's additionally something she helped us with the kills. Just aiming to the back. Karka, because she really actually so that much does the kills we need. This is fun better than the last one. It was at the beginning, but then it wasn't. So what we're going to actually do is let's check and it didn't work. So if I kept that run, I could have gone to the third team. The third team could have done about 30 bars, and then I could have used a fourth team, which is not optimal for scoring, but it's better than not getting it. Yeah, you can do that if you want. It's better to optimize your resources because you never know. You may manage 3 teams here, which gets more scores, which is better to get points from the threshold to win a rematch. Benefits good. Hello, welcome. So we are doing now the explosive version of Peroro. It's not going exactly great, but with some luck maybe we can fix it. How have you been? I hope you had a good week. My critical success did not land into the worst run so far. The goal for Team 2 would be to get it to 30 bars. now you may be right. The music is really loud in Peroro. How about now?
Fire!
I thought I had lowered it enough, but yeah, I have probably been explaining stuff with really loud music on the back. Oh well, it's fine, it's fine. We're going to be doing more runs anyway, so anything that was too low before, I will be re-explaining anyway, so maybe we need some Sakurako to get some luck.
全力で対応いたします。全ての中にご加護は
The Peroro exploded too far from the other two, so it didn't take them out.
こういうのは全力で対応いたします。
The issue is not only that we miss 2 downs, it's that we lose a lot of damage but not by not hitting the other Peroros with explosion. So right now the boss should be about 61 bars and it's a lot more. But some luck we can recover from this.
これは没収したやつだから。こういうのここは少し
That is too far to hit the far one. Yeah, I'm glad it's better now. Kurap is not helping us. She's going out. Her bench is attack. Perfect. Take down the last one, perfect. So now we're going to trigger the stagger. And with this stagger we can do a lot of damage now. I think, yeah, I think it is. Yellow Peroro is easier because you have Mika, and Mika is just a monster. But I don't know, like Red Peroro is not that bad if you have like all the characters you need invested, but the issues I don't because I never invested into swimsuit, you know. Okay, perfect. This run is going really well. We got both times all the Peroros, which give us more stagger bar and give us more damage into the boss. Now we're going to get the transition, so we're shielding Haruka. So now when Haru gets closer, we heal her. We don't care about healing Haru because she's always standing far enough. She's not taking too much damage. Okay, that's a great takedown. Okay, this run may be the good run. We are at really good pace. We are at 37 bars, we have 40 seconds left. This is a really good pace run. And if we don't take down all the Peroros, it's fine, because we may not want to trigger the stagger. But since we did, it's good for us because we're going to get it to like 27 or 28 bars. Yeah, 27, perfect. Okay, this is the the best run my second team can do. Now we're going to team 3. So because you joined late, this is my first team. Obviously Natsu is here because she's the best tank for Peroro. She can cleanse herself, which open us for the special slots to run whatever we want. In this case we are running Himari for the Axel and the attack buff, Nagisa for the defense red, and she can also deal a lot of damage, especially in the Peroro Dolls phase. And all the defense reduction we do into them, then we can abuse with Mutsuki, which will deal a lot of AoE damage. And Hoshino, while she's weak to mystic damage, the acceleration effects she gives, the attack buff, and the explosive effectiveness buff are all really convenient, and with her help, Mutsuki can take down the shiny Peroros without any issue. And we're using Ui instead of Fuka, which is one of the most popular choices for the cost reduction, so our rotations are a little bit more smooth. We are reducing the cost of Mutsuki and Hoshino. In Team 2, we rent a Himari for the Axel effect and the attack buff, and we just want to buff Aru so she can take down the shiny Peroros because we want to do that. Yeah, if Summer Hoshino goes too far into the front and she takes the laser, you have to restart. However, with this positioning, I have never had that issue with this deployment. However, with this deployment, Hoshino will take a lot of splash damage from the boss basic attacks and the Peroro minions, which means that she will probably die during the transition to the second stage. But at that point it's not really that important because we should be able to get to about 80 bars even without her help during the second stage. Otherwise, you can switch Ui and Summer Hoshino in deployment, but Mutsuki may end up being too far from Hoshino and she may not be able to enjoy the buff from Summer Hoshino, losing us a lot of DPS there. So this is Team 3. This team can actually improve. I just don't know right now who would I replace Asusa. I don't think Asusa is great here. Like, the bulk of the damage is done by Toki, and Swimsuit Saki, like, her debuff are good enough for us to keep her in the team, while Asusa's DPS has felt a little bit lacking and the cost of her EX is too high, which slows down her rotations. It's really painful to use her sometimes. But maybe we can start with the rotation like this. The issue is that Toki needs preparation, so in the first rotation, if we go like this with Hibiki instead of Asusa, we're going to be missing DPS because we're going to activate Toki and then we will not have her laser up before we have to cleanse Yuka. So that's why the rotation starts like this, so we can get the mech and then we can rotate into Toki again and we deal some decent damage with Asusa. Hibiki deals decent damage, but it's harder to hit it reliably because you have to position her EX properly to get all the hits you can in the shiny Peroros. But if you do, Hibiki is like really good. An alternative to it is Swimsuit Miyu, but I'm lacking gear on her, like she's full tier 1, she's just not doing enough damage. just enough time to do this and then rotate, and then cleanse Yuka. So Shinatsu's heal is pretty strong, even though like I haven't invested anything into her. Okay, so now we're going to use Toki here, and she should be able to take down everyone. Yeah, almost. However, it's 18 bars, we should be able to get it done. So here I have two options. I could go straight into Azusa, or I could debuff here and then hope for a double kill with the Azusa or Toki. So it's Azusa, so we hope for double kill. It was close enough. And we can get the heals here. Toki, she hooked her laser into the wrong enemy. Thankfully he can do the chain for us. And now it's just a matter of doing some damage because we're really close to victory here. Toki will go down to the transition if she's at half HP. She takes 75% of her HP as damage during the transition, so don't be cheap and heal her, otherwise you will lose and she's your main DPS. And there you go, shiny Peroro kill, 200k damage into the boss. Toki's adorable with her peace. And now, the one I hate the most, even though it's not the hardest, it's the one I hate the most. Mystic. I don't like this version at all, it's really bad for me. So the issue I have with this version is that I rely a lot on luck here. Because I don't have New Year Fuka and I don't have New Year Kayoko, and I cannot rent both. I have to make a decision here, and it's either rent Fuka later or rent Kayoko later. In my case, I go for Fuka. I say, like, it's a shame that you won't be able to pull for any of them, especially because, like, if you are kind of meta chasing but not like too hard, Nagisa is really good, especially she will become like super good with Gregorius and Great Wars. And Toki too, like I think that one great thing about Toki is that while she's not the best, she feels so well into any role. Like when the Great Wars for Pina came about, I used Aru as my main DPS for like my scoring runs, but during the livestream I did, we tested Toki and we were getting about the same score as I was getting with Aru, and my Toki has at that time had less investment than Aru into her. So Toki is a really good feeler, like because she has no weakness, she can fit into any explosive challenge virtually. And Nagisa is just really good AoE damage, she provides healing, she has the explosive crit damage buff, and the defense reduction on her EX skill is not like amazing, but it's good enough, and it's also good because it only costs 3, and in Gregorius you need your rotations to be quick, and that makes Nagisa great for Gregorius, probably in the top 2 or top 3 specials for Gregorius. Yeah, no, like if I had to like choose between this banner and the future, I would skip this banner too. Because Ayoko is just too strong. Like her buff is stupidly good for what it costs.
頼みがなかったら
It's just extremely cheap. And you can get so much value out of it.
仕方あり
So yeah, like I understand and I actually agree with you, but with not pulling on this banner. And after Kayuko, like I don't know how much of a fan you are of Kaho, but if you're not a fan of Kaho, skip her. Like
なかったら
she's decent.
興味深い
Don't get me wrong, like she's decent, but like what comes after her is just too strong to skip it. Okay, this run is going great because we got what we needed from Hinata.
ここを少し補強してごめんなさい
And everything may go to crap now because we're not taking down that Peroro. Ah, it went down. That's so good.
はい行きますよ興味深いですね
Here is complicated. We need to land this perfectly so we get everything pay out perfect. So we pay out both of the shiny. We have Iroha on the field, which gives us a lot of extra DPS, and now we only have 2 regular Peroros to take down. And freaking Mutsuki walked in front of our tank and went down to the laser and destroyed our run. That's so inconvenient. Even though I deployed her like in the best position possible for her to not get in front of the tank.
だけですよ
Like she's the farthest from the action and she still went into it.
すみません
And
あれこれ
Mutsu
いいもの持ってたんだ
fast. We don't need to use Yui right now.
痛いかもしれません
Now we use Ui, and now we are going to save our skill points so we can get it off on the field for the second wave.
行きますよ
The only issue with Iroha is that she's too big and it's harder now to land my skills on Hinata.
痛いかもしれません
Oh, this is going really good. And now, please Mutsuki, don't walk in front of Natsu. Okay, perfect.
興味深いですね
So we boost Hinata again, and now we hopefully get both the Peroros out. Perfect. And this is going beautifully. So we are going to use Natsu here, so she heals a little bit more because she's too low, and we don't need to use Ui right now.
ごめんなさい今回だけですよ
Now we use a stun. So now we're not going to make the rotation in time to get back to Hinata, so we're going to get Iroha on the field. We're going to save Hinata's EX for the first wave of Peroros here.
はいこの通りありがとうございます
We're going to let it walk a little bit. And now we're going to use
ごめん
the
なさい
Brick. I timed it wrong, but it actually went in our favor. My bad timing helped. So again, we're going to renew Iroha for some extra DPS. But at this point, we are just going to try to spam as much as possible. Because the run is about, this team is about to be done. This turn, its turn. So see can make it.
すみません私
usually would restart this run because it's 83 bars, we want to be at 81 or less, but let's see how it goes. I forgot, one thing I've been doing before doing my own runs is showing what people is doing. So this player has clear Torment difficulty, and this is the teams this player is using. He's using 7 teams, which is too much. And I think everyone is doing like a lot of teams too. Like this guy is using 3 teams, which is decent. This is more replicable. But yeah, fundamentally for Insane, this would be like your best team. This would get you like a 1 team clear or a 2 team clear. Actually, one thing that I don't know if we have available on what's the name on global now is that we can look up, we can filter by difficulty cleared. I don't think we can do this on Great Wars though. But what we can do is go to my own rank and then look up a little bit, because these people should, someone like a little bit upper here should be a 1 team clearer. 2 teams, this guy is not going to have 1 team. This could be a 1 team. No, it's 26 millions. We need to find someone with more than 27 millions. This person here is 2 teams again. Okay, it's gonna take too long to find a 1 team clear on Insane, because I don't see the option to filter it. So what essentially people do for 1 team clear on Insane for the Mystic variant, they usually go with a composition similar to this, but they use Fuka here instead. They don't use Ui, they use New Year Kayoko. And I don't know if people use Mutsuki, probably not. But yeah, there is a chance that people either use Mutsuki or they use Summer Hoshino, because just even though you cannot profit from the explosive effectiveness, you can profit from her attack buff and acceleration. But I don't think so. I think it's better to use Mutsuki here because of the rotation speed is easier to get with Mutsuki. So this is my second team. This team is awful. I'm not gonna lie, this team is awful. I do not recommend using this team because it lacks a lot of damage. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not ideal. Ideally, you don't want to be using like 2 characters to break the Shiny Peroro, like especially 2 with expensive EX skills. Both of these cost 4. So it's complicated. However, thanks to Shiroko, we can get the team rolling quickly at the beginning, and that will allow us to stabilize and then keep doing the stuff we need during the run. And as always, Mari is here for safety, especially because in this team we use 2 for cost skills, which is slow for us. Hanako is here because she can spam her EX skill, especially during the doll phase. This is really good. Hoshino is just a really good tank. Okay, so thanks to Shiroko we can do this because we have both the skills at 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by tagging this one, and then I'm going to use Alice to fully stack that marked enemy, and now with the explosion it will land on those 2. And for some reason they both survive even though both took the damage. So thankfully we have Hanako. She deals increased damage to to mystic enemies. It's only 150% and not 200%, but you can spam it. That's so good. Like, without Hanago there, I would have not made that stagger possible. It would have been impossible. Like, as you can see, like, it's really good in the doll phase. I can spam it so much and get so much value from it. And we're tagging this one. We're going to wait a little bit. It's really convenient for us because the Archive Peroro is not reachable. Now that we took down the front one, we can reach this one and hopefully first slow now. That's so unlucky. We didn't even get half of the stagger. We're going to use Fortune up here to get the shields, but she survives with this. So this one is going to be probably a restart. But we're going to try and see. Let's see if Hana can save this round. We're not going to get the second stagger, unlucky. But we're doing decent damage. But it's not good enough. We want it to be below 35, ideally 30, but 35 is acceptable, 40 is not. Start again with the tagging here. Perfect. And we push it. Remember to always start the one on the back because we cannot reach it without the normal attack. And now they're all down, and we're going to get the stagger, which is perfect. Now we just can abuse the power of Hanako. We're going to use potion here so she gets further into the enemies. And hopefully attack that one and hopefully it's good now. Oh, I didn't take it down. But we're close to take down the front one, which will allow us to move. And now we can take down this one. Let them down. There is only one left. Should be an easy job for Hanako, and there it is. So now we're going to get ourselves shielded. Ah, the shield expired. We'll use it too soon. It's fine. So here we have two choices. The first was to get Wakamo into the rotation by using Mari's EX, but we risked not having it for the cleanse when the laser came, so I choose to be a little bit slower there and hopefully make it now. However, this is going to be a hard task. We are going to probably not get the stagger now. Yeah, we failed the stagger. Failing the stagger is the worst for us. We needed to spam Hanako and get the damage done. If we don't get the second stagger, we have to restart. There is no way around it. this time you get some luck.
アリスの目から逃げられません。
We're going to give time, so wind shot, take them.
すべての方に救いを。涼しいですね。涼しいですね。
We should get the stagger here. Yeah, perfect. Alright, now Nako doesn't have any water, but we use Mari to get the water, and now we can use ADX 2 times,
アリスの目から逃げられ
which
ま
allow us to keep spamming them. Yeah. Like I was saying before, like, you shouldn't be afraid of restarting. It's always better to restart and get like a good run in instead of just trying to take what you get, because sometimes you just take what you get and then you fail, or you have to use one more team, which makes your sports work. I'm not saying like you should optimize it like to the max, but you should try to get the most of your resources and like your time. So restarting is like, I wouldn't say essential, but it's really important.
光を全ての方にご加護を。逃がしません。逃がさない。アリスの目から逃げられません。
Ah, crap.
すべての
I got the
方に
wrong target.
救いがしません。
That
涼しいですね。
could mess up everything for us.
目標に向かいます。狙いは正確。逃げないでください。
Who went down, Wakmo went down, that's bad for
逃
us.
げないでください。HP バーバー
Oh, everyone went down. Did Hoshino go down? I didn't realize. Oh, crap. That could have been our best run. Like, I messed that up so bad.
ありがとうございます。今度お返ししますね。逃がしません。狙いは正確。ターゲットロックオン。
Ah,
光
nice.
を。すべての方に祝福を。
For a second I thought I was too late with the Alice's here. Yeah, it was so close.
涼しいですね。ターゲッ
We
ト
should
ロ
get
ッ
the
クオン。
stagger now first.
光を。
I'm gonna use Mari to get more
涼しいです
water.
ね。
It was not enough, but we have to get 2 casts and probably one more. So, okay, at least land the hero there. It's convenient, but not too convenient.
全ての方に祝福を。
Can land
お亡くなりになりなさい。
perfect, and now we should get perfect golden apples.
アリスの目から逃げられません。
We're hitting the small Peroros to get extra damage in.
救いを。
I don't know, to be honest. Like, the issue with covering events, I used to cover them, but since they are like most of the time things that come one time only, it is not evergreen content, and because of I don't do this for a living, like I need to give priority to what it's like more rewatchable for people. So yeah, like covering an event like the Archive event or whatever other event is just too much hassle and too much time for me to invest for something that is gonna get a week of views, and that's gonna be it. And yeah, like it's not like so important for me. Like whether I do it or not, I get nothing because I don't get paid for this. But I think it's better to prioritize my time into stuff that will last longer. 31 bars. That's pretty good. Also, the AHA event is pretty easy, to be honest. Most of the enemies take neutral damage anyways, and there are not like big boss fights or anything. And making a guide could actually bring spoilers into the table, and I don't think people would want that. And now we're around Uka. However, like the only good advice I can give you is I know there will be people publishing images of like the most optimal route to take, because it's like the I don't know if you're currently doing the event in JP. They are rerunning some Arizona event, and it will work like that with the tile system. So yeah, like look up for those images for the optimal route, so you make the better use of your stamina. I don't know if someone will do it for the English community, but for the Japanese community, they uploaded like the optimal routes for each stage. Okay, Mika is just a monster and she will carry us here. Yuka is also a good. We may not be able to. You saw the Chiroko alter fight before we started playing Blue Archive. Well, that's something. I mean, without the context, like, I guess it's not too much of a spoiler anyway. And now that you have the context, yeah, I can see the spoiler issue there, but... Okay, now the next cross, we are going to try to snipe both the Peroros. We should still be able to get it, but it could have been better. Yeah, like, Blue Archive doesn't get as much of a... like, people underestimate how good the combat system in Blue Archive is. Because while it's pretty simple and you don't have like complete control over your students, I think the way in which they implement the challenges is so good. Because, for example, like Ghost is an excellent challenge to use your reposition abilities, and like healing is nerfed in that raid, so it forces you to adopt a playstyle that is like more focused on the mechanics of the raid itself. Like there are many challenges in Blue Archive that do that. Like, for example, like even Gregorius is not about using just your strongest DPS and blowing it up. You have to comply with the mechanics of the debuff, you have to keep track of the organ, you have to rotate so it doesn't curse you. I think they have used the simplicity of the combat system in Blue Archive to make like a really complex, really complex challenges. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. We'll redo the penetrating version for those who are joining now or joined after I already did it. Yeah, like you say, it's not pure power and new vanilla rules. Like it's what I like about Blue Archive is every character will eventually have a use. Because of the joint exercises, for example, they are great. Every time they come around, they bring special rules that force you to think about the game in a different way. Like the one that took the EX damage out of the equation. Characters like Serika, Isuna in both of her versions, like they are auto-attackers. Mika is a good auto-attacker too, even though her EX skill is monstrous, but she's a good auto-attacker too. So like, using that kind of stuff, using Onsen Chinatsu to get more attack speed and then do more auto-attacks, like, it's like, they try to give a little bit of the highlight to every character. Or when they did the CC challenge, I was using Hare, which is a character that I really like, but she's not that strong. But with the CC rule, she becomes really good. So yeah, like, even in the raids, like, it's not all about power. Hot, for example, you need to do a good balance between crowd control and power, because like if you don't have crowd control, the boss will not take any damage, but if you don't have enough power, you cannot take advantage of the damage windows. So yeah, it's all about balance, and I like that. I don't feel like any character has gotten power crept like too much. I've been thinking about making like a tier list. The issue is that tier list can be a little bit controversial is not the word, but I think it applies. Okay, have a good night. Bye bye, thanks for coming. Thank you. So, for the penetrating version of Peroro, we are just focusing on boosting Mika. We are going to debuff the Peroro on the front, so we can take down the one on the back with the EX skill. The front one will die to the auto attacks. Now the second wave is coming. I use that Himari EX too quick. It should be fine anyways, but it's not ideal. Okay, now we're going to walk forward and use me to take that one down. And now that one is going to go down to the spam. I don't think this one is good enough, but we're going to try. Usually want to finish the first stage with about 100 bars, now it's 106, so it's not ideal. I messed up the bars. We find out it's all gonna be depending on how the next few things it all depends on the next Peroro wave. Yeah, it's a restart because we didn't get in range to attack one of the Chinese, and we didn't have even the time to let the animation finish anyways. Let the Peroro walk so we can make it explode close to the door. Leave up the other one so it takes more damage, and now we're going to take down the far one with Mika. Always the far one with the X. Always debuff the one in the front. On the way, we're saving Himari, and now moving off. Since Mika and London not so, that's unlucky. But this run is already going better. Now if we get the attack with Mika, we should be about 100 bucks. Yep, perfect. Exactly 100 bucks. Couldn't be better. At least for me, obviously. We're going to spam at this point, we're just trying to get as much damage in as we can. Because we are not going to make it like to the full stagger here, we are just spamming Mika as much as we can. Mika deals really enough damage anyway, so we don't need to wait for the Chinese. We could, but we don't need to. Also, like, we don't have enough time for animation anyways. Okay, Team 2. Team 2, we rely on Ui for the penetrating effectiveness buff, and Maki for the defense reduction, and Iori will hopefully crit. If she crits, we're golden. If she doesn't, we're going to struggle a little bit. Hoshino is just really tanky and really good. Like, we also use her in other variants because she's just really tough to take down. Ayan is some extra DPS, and Mari is for the cleanse. If you don't have Mari, you can use Chinatsu, but I use Chinatsu on Team 3 because, like, for me this is a 3-team clear. As always, we start with the cleanse in the rotation just for safety reasons. You can risk it and not use it on the initial 3 skills that you can pick, but it's better to have it there. We don't need anything else anyways, we just need to use Ui, and hopefully Yori will crit. She doesn't always have Maki support. We're going to let it walk a little bit so we get explosion. Yeah. Unlucky. I don't know why it didn't apply to the other one, but at this point we should be fine. We're going to get here. Now that, and hopefully can get the attention. Moving for the laser, perfect. And now hopefully Iori will take the part 1 down. She failed. Maki will take both, perfect. So we are going to get the stagger, which is always the goal. We want to get the stagger. It took longer than it should, but at least we got it. Now you can not use Ui's buff here because you lose 70 DPS because you stopped shooting to get the buff. But I think it's always better to use. Then we should have enough time to renew Ayane and renew this buff. And now hopefully Iori will kill 2 times. She didn't, but this run is good enough. We're going to get to 30 bucks, which is a goal, and even lower, which is great. That means the last thing will have to do a lot less work. At this point we are not aiming for the stagger just like before, we are just aiming to get as much damage in there as we can. For me it's always better to get the buffs. We're just going to way down, but it's fine, we don't care. We were out of time anyway, so that's perfect. Now we're going to Team 3. Team 3 is basically just a mixed bag of characters I had that are good enough to do this. Chinatsu is obviously here for the cleanse that will keep Miyako alive. Shiroko is here to give us the cost reduction at the beginning and the axial effect, which we need because otherwise this rotation does not work. We need that discount. But it's good enough for us because once we get the rotation going, it just flows well. if you're going to use Wakamo, be careful because she's really frail because of her sub skill. Her defense goes down. So what I'm going to do now is use Miyako here. She will deal very little damage, but is something, and then we spam. And now Shinatsu cleanse. We're going to let that one walk a little bit more. We didn't get the stagger, but we're fine with that. We're just going to get the rotation again. Here, like, I'm using the cheek skills to get Shinatsu back in the rotation without the laser, and then we're going to focus on the Chinese, but our priority here was to keep Miyako alive. We're going to trigger the stagger with some luck here. Okay, but we're going to get the stagger. And this should be the win now. Because it's taking so much damage. Perfect. So that's my treatment here for the penetrating version. So what's essential? When you do insane clear, the best thing you can do is not piling up all your power in one team. Because in the end, if you don't get the one team clear, then you will not have more strong characters to keep going to the team 2 or team 3. So you want to distribute your power as much as you can. In my case, like, I pack most of my power in team 1, but it's because I know that my team 2 will reliably get me to that point if some criticals land. And even if they don't, like in the run we just did, Iori didn't land a single critical hit, or if she did, she didn't land enough criticals to get the Peroros down, like with only the use of her EX skill, which is pretty unlucky. You can get it with the penetrating effectiveness buff from Ui, but I didn't get it because I just didn't have enough luck. But the thing is that if you can get like a good baseline with your team 1, then team 2 has less work to do, and then team 3 has even less work to do. So to me, like, team 1 is the most important team, but it's also important to know, like, okay, if I pack everything into team 1, then it's going to go down bad in the other 2 teams. So for that reason, I, for example, use Mika and Himari on the first team, but for the second team I keep Maki, which I could use on team 1 to do like a little bit more DPS and defense break, but Akane deals enough damage and her defense break is good enough, so like this team is just like power to Mika because Mika is really good. Team 2 essentially works like, is like teamwork. While team 1 is a selfish team that puts everything, all the resources into Mika, team 2 is like more of a group hack team. Everyone is collaborating, everyone is doing a little bit of damage and getting us a little bit further. And team 3 is just a cleaner team, like it's good enough to finish the job, but it's not good enough to be a standalone team. Could I improve this run? Could I improve these teams? Yeah, I could. The issue is that requires resources. To get those resources, you need stamina. Being free to play, the stamina you have access to is like really limited. However, for example, like if I wanted to improve my runs further, I could use Kazusa. But as you can see, she's only level 75 and she's missing skills, so it's not ideal. Also, she has bad terrain here, so it's even less ideal now. Nonomi is really good for this raid because her skills, like she's good against big targets, and her EX skill has a really good multiplier. I just never invested into her, so now she's like behind. inconvenient for me trying to get her up now, because I will probably not get her like up to spec during this event, so then I will have invested in a character that I will not be able to use in time, and then she will lie there like in the roster without any use until the next time. Who knows when it's going to be the next time. So what I do usually is I build a core of like good students for every challenge, and in this case like I started with a good core for Vina, then I went for a good core for Hod, when we're talking about the penetrating rates. So most of the units I have built are geared towards that, and even though I have a decent base for Cheesehead, and I can get the one team clears and insane, I rely a lot on the rental system, which is a great system, and if you can find a good guild and find good friends that you can rent good units from, because thanks to them I can have access to New Year Fuka, which I didn't get during her banner, and she hasn't spooked me yet on the JP account or Ako. Like, she's still avoiding me. I don't know why I cannot get her like after all this time, but thanks to the rental system I can use it. The issue is that when you lack too many units, like in my case I lack both Ako and Fuka, and I cannot rent both, so it gets complicated. So resource distribution is essential, so you can use the rental system to the best of it, and you can use your characters to the best of it. One thing I think is worth taking a look at before keep going with Peroro runs, because we're on the second lap at this point, is to the characters that will come in the future to the global version, because I don't know how many of you play JP or play global, but I think that a lot of people that is watching or will watch this will be also global players. Like, I think there is a lot of crossover between global and JP. Like, most of the people that plays JP also plays global. I don't think that's the opposite is true though. I think that very few global players also play JP. But yeah, like, I know some global players are always on the lookout of information. They are trying to see the challenges that will come in the future so they can prepare better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a quick look to the characters that are coming after Toki and Nagisa, which my review is up right now on the channel. You can look at it. And in that video I said that from the characters that come after Toki and Nagisa, especially after Kaho, there are a lot of good characters, and while most of them are like really good pickups, I think there are like 5 that are like a must. And no, because it's not because they are like the strongest characters in the game, it's because of how the game will start shifting the challenges towards like debuffs and stuff like that. It's important to have those characters because they will be probably the first options you will have for a while to face those challenges. So first one is New Year Kayoko. Like, she's coming like before after Toki and Nagisa. We are getting Koyuki. She's bad. Like, some people is using her like for multiple teams runs, but she's bad. Like, you don't need her. She's not limited. Like, you can skip her. This is not an issue. But then we're getting the New Year banner for Kayoko and Haruka. Kayoko is especially good because her EX costs only 2 points. She gives you a 92.8% of Mystic Effectiveness buff, which is amazing, and all of her skills like are more buffs, or like it's towards empowering one character, and like, she can make virtually any DPS from like a cannon into a nuke. It's incredible. And she will make your runs, for example, for Ghost easier. She's weak against mystic damage, but with good deployment you can still use her. Like for example in Peroro I use Hoshino, Summer Hoshino, and she's weak to mystic, but with good deployment you can get still good use out of her. Haruka on the other hand, she's good, but I don't think she's essential. Like she has acceleration buff on her sub skill, which is the same that Himari has, but I don't think she's as valuable as Himari because buffs are more versatile. And Haruka's EX skill is a little bit more expensive, I think it's 4 points if I recall correctly. We can actually check that now. Yeah, it's 4. So the issue is that while she has acceleration, her EX does not provide the same value that Himari does. Because that debuff can be good for example, Gregorius, but Gregorius really far away in the timeline right now. And even then, like, it's better to use Minori and Nagisa against Gregorius than is to use Haruka. I have never used Haruka, so I don't know if her EX skill travels or is targeted, but if it travels, she also has the issue that traveling skills will never hit Gregorius, it's impossible. And that's why, for example, there is this special from Darius' squad, which I forgot, Hiyori. Hiyori is not good against Gregorius, even though she has debuffs, because her skill travels and it will collide with something before she can hit Gregorius, so it's not gonna work. It's simply not gonna work. And it feels bad because I actually invested a lot into her, thinking that she would be good against Gregorius, but it didn't work. Sadly, it didn't work. So yeah, like I was saying, Haruka is good, but I don't think she's essential. If we're talking about like essential characters, Minori, which will come a lot later, she's really strong. At the beginning I was not too sold on her, but with the release of Gregorius I changed my mind, because the thing is that her sub is an effectiveness buff, so virtually your explosive strikers will deal 30% more damage for free all the time, and this buff is really good, and her EX skill deals so much damage. She's probably the only special character that can take the Gregorius Chorus down in one hit by herself in insane difficulty. It's amazing the amount of damage that she can dish out, especially because her attack stat doesn't look that high, but the multiplier is stupidly high and you can get it even higher if you invest some more points into it. Then another important release, in my opinion, it's going to be the SRT Summer characters, which I'm currently working on Miyako because I got her during the Hanako banner. I couldn't get her during her banner because I was saving resources and I didn't know how good she would be. Like, I'm still not completely sold on her. Like, she's the best tank for Gregorius, like, without a doubt. Like, her EX skill is cheap, it's only 2 points. It has debuffs into it, so your rotations are fast. Her sub skill is not great. I don't know, I haven't tested too much, but I don't know how often will it trigger, and the acceleration it offers is not that big actually. I don't know how good her acceleration is. Like, consider that Hifumi, for example, she has 3 times the acceleration value of Miyako, and it's still like it's just not meta to say so. And like, I don't know how strong Miyako's acceleration is, but when you consider that in Gregorius you cannot run Hoshino, it's impossible. Like, it's impossible to use Hoshino on Gregorius insane difficulty. She will go down really quickly. So you cannot use Hoshino for explosive effectiveness nor for acceleration. So Minori and Miyako together make up for the lack of Hoshino, because she gives you the acceleration and Minori gives you the explosive effectiveness. On the other hand, Saki, which was the character I actually managed to get, she's really strong. Her EX is only 4 points. It has 2 debuffs built into it, and her debuffs do not, they are not the same that Nagisa or Miyako deal. So you will build up the counter by using her like really quickly. So Chi, Miyako, and Minori are like 3 essential characters from the future characters that are coming. And then it's a little bit more debatable, but I think Ui, it's a must, because she's probably the best penetrating support currently. She has no weakness because of her siege armor. This buff is amazing, it's 45 seconds long, and 70% extra penetrating effectiveness is really good. The other skills are good too, like in general, like her kit is really good, but what makes her so good is this, and her armor type. So you virtually can use her in any penetrating challenge without any problem, and she's gonna be especially good for Great Wars. Because, for example, like I wouldn't use Ui for Chiset, for example, but I could use her for Peroro like now, or I could use her on Kaiten FX maybe. Like it would take some testing, but even though mine doesn't have like all the gear and all the skills, she's doing well enough for me to get my clears done. So Ui I think is a must. And then the 5th and last must character I think is Hanako. Swimsuit Hanako is the first Sonic damage dealer, and I don't know how many of you have seen this chart. So I made this chart to explain Sonic damage on siege armor. And as you can see, Sonic damage is not only good against siege armor, which will probably become more prevalent in future challenges, so I think getting Hanako is really valuable because it will prepare you for the future, but also like she deals increased damage against special armor enemies, which means that she can be using Gauss. For example, I did use her in Gauss on the last time he was around. I'm currently using her for my clears on Peroro Great Wars because she's really good to spam the dolls with her EX, because her EX skill has this new mechanic that you can build these water charges, and every time you can have up to 2 water charges, and every time you use her EX, use a water charge. But instead of paying for your EX with the water charges, which was what I initially thought, what it does is actually allows you to recast the skill. So every water charge is 1 more cast of this skill, and the multiplier is fairly high. It's not amazingly high, but it's fairly high. It only costs 2, and her attack stat is ridiculous. Like it's really high for especially for like an AR user. Like her attack stack is really good. It's above average. So if you can get her gear up, like these 2 are the most important for Hanako because they are the ones tied to the damage. But this one, like, you don't really need to worry too much about it. I'm gonna get it done eventually, but currently I don't have the resources to do. The same with these skills, like I will eventually get it done, but I'm lacking this, and like it's not gonna be easy to get them. But the thing is that she's good against special enemies. She will be really good in the future when siege armor enemies come out. And Ui, like I said, like she takes reduced explosive damage. So in Great Wars, for example, what's the name? Hieronymus. Hieronymus deals explosive damage. So Great Wars Hieronymus, penetrating variant, heavy armor variant. She will take 50% damage. So you will have an increase of DPS because of her penetrating effectiveness, and she will not struggle to survive even though she is a support because she's taking reduced damage. And she doesn't have any weakness, so like she has many doors open and very little doors closed. Hanako, on the other hand, she deals reduced damage against heavy armor enemies, so you don't want to use her, for example, like in the penetrating variants or like the heavy armor variants of the bosses during Great Wars, or at any heavy armor raid boss in general, like in Total Wars. Light armor is neutral damage, so you may get some use out of her in some explosive raids. For example, in Kaiten she could be good during phase 1, but I couldn't bet on it. Like 100% damage is decent, but we have so many good AoE DPS on the explosive category that you don't really need to use Hanako. But the fact that she's good against special armor enemies, like, it gives her more variety than a standard character, thanks to her Sonic Tempo. And again, like, the spammability of her EX is just so good, it's really strong. Now, for the other characters that will be coming after Kaho, they are mostly very good. And between them we have Bunny Toki. So Bunny Toki is really strong. She's really good, especially against Kaiten FX phase 2, because her EX skill can break the Kaiten shield, and it only costs 2, and the multiplier is high, so like, her attack stat is good. It's not Hanako good, but it's good. So her damage will be good enough. She will make sure that you can break the shield every time. So she's good for that, but besides that, she hasn't seen too much use, to be honest. So she's good, but not a must. On the other hand, Alice has seen a lot more use in general during Mystic raids because her damage output is crazy. Like, her attack stat is stupidly high. Her multiplier is really high. The cost is 4, but still, like, it's really good. She gets increased damage from her sub. She gets increased damage from her passive. And this triggers fairly often. It's not like super often, but it's fairly often. You get more buffs from it, so Alice is really good. If you have to pick one of them, Alice is the strongest pick. At least in my opinion, like, she's the strongest pick. Even though I like Chucky more, like, I have to be honest, and Alice is the better pick there. Then we are also getting Rumi and Mina, which Mina I didn't pull for her. I got her on the SRT Summer, while pulling for Saki I got Mina. Mina is good, she's very strong, she will be really good for Gregorius. However, she is not as good as Saki because her debuffs are from the same category of other characters. So Saki was mainly used for the 1-team clears, and Mina was mostly used for the 2-team clears and Torment clears. Still, Mina is really good. Her EX is cheap, it deals good damage, it has like 2 or 3 debuffs built into it. This is good, do not rely too much into it. It's good, but it's not amazing. Like, I have never seen trigger with the max damage, and even then, like, her attack stat is like really low. Like, you can see, like, besides me not having her UE, like, she's really good. I mean, her attack stat is really low, so like, her damage is not going to be that high because this is low. When it comes to Rumi, she is strong, she's decent. I haven't tested her myself because I don't have her obviously, but the thing is that her EX skill has cleanse. On the first and the fourth bounce she will cleanse the allies that were healed by it, and that's good. But the thing with Rumi is that I've seen her being used in Gregorius, but nowhere else. Not even in like multiple team clears. I have never seen her being used outside of Gregorius, and the same goes for Mina. So I wouldn't say any of them is a must, but they are strong, and probably as the game keeps moving forward they will get like a more established place in the meta, but I don't think they are like a must, but they are very good. They will hold value in the future, that's for sure. Then I'm not saying the characters in order because I don't remember the release order, but Reisat should be released later, and the Feather 2, and she's good. She's very good. She's probably one of the best tanks for Peroro, especially during Great Wars, because she can cleanse herself. Her damage is fairly decent, even though her attack stat is like really low, so do not rely too much. Like, don't look too much at the multipliers because the base stat is bad. Her survival is decent too, like she can heal herself, she has a 1 second taunt, like she's good, and she's going to be really good for Peroro, especially during Great Wars, and she has seen some use in Gregorius. I don't know why, because if I recall correctly this is a taunt what she has on her EX skill, I mean on her soft. And taunt is not a debuff, it's a CC, so it shouldn't count towards the mechanic of Gregorius. Who am I forgetting? Who am I forgetting from the future releases? Mimori, sadly, she's not good. Like, she's really cute, but she's not good. She's not bad, but she's not great either. The thing with Mimori is that she's a deployer, which is useful for Shirokuro, and that's it. I have never seen deployment being useful outside of Shirokuro. And the other issue is that even though her deployment is good, is better than what we currently have, we don't really use deployers too much. Like, we mainly use dodging skills to get around Shirokuro mechanics, and deployment skills, they see some use, yeah, but it's still like not ideal, like they don't see as much use. I think those are all the releases that are coming in the future. Oh, Hinata. Hinata is coming together with Ui. She's decent, I guess. The thing with Hinata is that she could be amazing if this skill was 4. Because 6 is too expensive, your rotations get clogged like to hell, it's going to be so slow to use her EX. The multiplayer is decent. Hello and welcome. I was talking about the releases that are coming after Toki and Nagisa, because I didn't list the characters that I think that are good pickups and the characters I think that are like must pickups after Toki and Nagisa. I was just talking about Hinata now. She's good, as I was saying, but she's not amazing because of her EX cost is too high. Even though she can ignore up to 80%, if I recall correctly, I don't remember, of the enemy's defense with her EX is just too expensive. Your rotations are going to be so slow. Is there any character you'd like to know about? Because I think I have talked about all the characters before. This is an excellent freebie though. Like, when she comes to global, like, level her up because she's going to be really good. Shiroko. She's good. Her acceleration sub is really good. Is the same as Himari. Her quick start, I would call this skill like a quick start, because she gives you a discount and she gives you like buffs all at the beginning of the battle, so it's like a quick start skill. It's also really good. Summer Memory. Yeah, I was talking about her like just now. Like, the issue with Memory is that while she's really cute and like her skills are not bad, is that the players themselves do not see too much use because they are only good for Chirokuro. And I don't know if the players will become better in the future, but it's not like something we use too much. Even in Chirokuro now, the players have seen little use. Yeah, Chizuku's been used in Chirokuro to bounce back the ball in phase 1, so you can feel the stagger. And she's also good to block the attractions that they throw at you in second phase. She's an upgrade over Chizuko for sure. Yeah, like I could say she's a big upgrade over Chizuko. Because Chizuko by itself, I never liked her too much. I never thought she's too good. I have barely invested into her. It's decent, but I don't think she's great. So yeah, Memory is an upgrade over her. I think the Memory CX costs the same 3, but it also has like it has a buff into it, which is good. Like, Memory, as I said, like she's good. It's just the players are not great in general. That's the issue with Memory. Like, if I could, like right now I don't have enough Pyroxan to take a risk on her, and I couldn't, even if I had enough to go to PT, I couldn't do it. If I had like, I don't know, 40k or 30k, I would put some Pyroxan and try to get Memory, but I don't think she's worth taking a risk now. She's not limited and the players are not best anyways. I did pull for her once. I did one pull on her banner and one pull on Isuna's banner, and I got her actually. Which is funny because the first time around I did 190 pulls on Isuna's banner and I couldn't get her, and I didn't have enough to do the last multi to go to Spark. And now I did one multi and I got her instantly. It feels like justice. And Memory, like, I really would like to have her, but I just cannot afford it. It's too risky. Oh yeah, I think that covers all the characters. I don't know if I'm missing anyone. We'll see if the players will have any use in the future. I think they will. I think the players will become better in the future. Like, the game in general always tries to make challenges that benefit all characters. But I don't know, like, she's not limited, and that's the thing. And even now we have other deployers, like she's not great, but she's a deployer, and the X cost is always 3. So we have alternatives. We have 2 deployers, and you can count Utaha as a deployer. It costs 4 and she throws a tower, a turret that also deals damage and counts as a structure, so she's a deployer. So in the end, it's just a matter of priorities, in my opinion. I think in the future, like not too far in the future to be honest, we are going to get some really strong releases. Because they always do it like that. They do strong release, bad release, strong release, bad release. Or like they do 1 or 2 bad releases and then a super strong release. Like for example, now we're going to get Toki and Nagisa, which is strong release, is not like must category, but they are really strong. And then we're getting Koyuki, and she's really bad. Like she's an easy skip. And then we're getting the New Year banner, and they are really good, especially Kayoko. And then we're getting Kaho, and Kaho is bad. I mean, she's not terrible, but she's not like super good. And after Kaho, I don't remember who's coming. I think Custom Part. So after Kaho, yeah, it's Custom Party, so Bunny Toki and Maidaliz, and both are good. So yeah, like it's a matter of like patience, because like after Custom Parties Reisa, and Reisa is good. It's good for Peroro Great Wars, and she will be good for other things too, but she's like I don't know, I don't think she's a must, but she has gone up in value lately. Utaha in JP PvP, I've seen her a lot less now. Like lately JP PvP has been a little bit of a mess. Like my teams are like shit right now. Like I keep going up and down like crazy. Because swimsuit Shiroko is like people is experimenting with swimsuit with Shiroko, because the issue is that Shiroko feels like a must-have in PvP, but it's hard to tell who is the best pair for Shiroko in the special slot. Some people is using Iroha, some people is using swimsuit Ayane, some people is using Mashiro, it's complicated, some people is using Utaha, so there is a lot of experimentation going on in JPPVP right now. I think Utaha will fall out of the meta, to be honest. Utaha probably is one of the specials I see the least paired with Shiroko right now, so yeah, like she will be good for like 6 months, but when Shiroko comes, she will fall. She will still be good, but not as good. So they made this little comic strip with Sakurako wanting to change her profile pic. So let's fix it. There, we fixed Sakurako. Yeah, no, it's a good investment. Like it's not the best investment, but it's a good investment, because you may not use her in PvP for like more than 6 months, but even then, like you could still use her for longer. Like it depends on what kind of composition you want to make. Yeah, it was really hard to actually get that crop well done. because like I had to remove the background, the text, and her arm, the one that is going behind her head, got messed up because there was text on top of it, so I have to rebuild the arm. And I think I did a decent job on it. It's not perfect, but I think it's barely noticeable that I had to fix the arm. Okay, but poor Sakurako being trolled by Hanako. Where is Hanako? There she is. Sure, of course. Give me a second. How do I do this? That's not the background I wanted, but that's gonna do for now. Let me get into my global account and I can show you the code. And yeah, for everyone watching the bot later, you can also add me to the friend list on global. On the previous stream, I shared my um, code for JP, so feel free to add me too. Of course, there is a limit of how many friends you can have, but first come, first serve.
Blue Archive.
Okay, we're about to get into the global account. It's just taking a little bit long to load. Blue Archive takes a really long time to load, especially in the emulator. Like on the phone, it's slow, but on the emulator, it takes ages. Perfect. I have some requests here too. Nope, well, this person is full. Okay, there is my friend code. Wait, I need to change my ID card. Where is Hibiki? There she is. Now we're talking. Yeah, but it's the emulator is necessary for me for recording and streaming and everything. Like it's just a lot more practical. I hate that sometimes it crashes randomly. Like I'm doing like a perfect run or of something and it crashes. Like emulator has many issues, but overall it's a good experience. It's just slow to start and a little bit unstable from time to time, but I don't dislike it. Also, it's easier to do raids on the emulator. Okay, I think that should be long enough to get the code. Yeah, like I've been progressing my global account a little bit. It's not fantastic, but it's going well. And yeah, like this account has been lucky with some stuff and not very lucky with other. Like I couldn't get Kazusa or Isuna or Tsukuyo, like, or Hoshino, freaking Hoshino. I need Hoshino, but I cannot get her, or Cherino. Like I really wanted Cherino from the fest banner, but she didn't spook me. Okay. I think it's a good time for ending the stream. I'm sorry that I'm ending this after 30 minutes you joined, but it's been going for about 2.5 hours. So I'm a little bit tired and I need to eat. It's been really fun. I hope that if you want to watch it later and you can see how I did Peroro, I tried to explain everything as well as I could of my thought process, like how the team works. I also watched the teams of the top players and explained the strategy behind them. Tried to show what's their approach and what's my approach, so you can have more options. So for those that join now or not too long ago, you can watch it back and there should be more explanations. And yeah, it's been really fun. Thanks everyone for watching the stream, and best of luck in your future pools on the global server or Peroro runs. And yeah, see you next time and have a good night. Bye bye.